Hey guys, Becca Scoops. Becca Scoops here, bring you some scoops. Let's talk a little bit about Gypsy Rose. Yeah. Got some new information on Gypsy Rose over the last several days. Many of you may know or may not know. This may be new news. Into the Weeds podcast, YouTube channel Into the Weeds, have been reading Gypsy's correspondence from prison. So, you guys know when you go to prison, nothing is private, it's all public. And someday, all of that information can come out. And well, this was the week that all of that information came out. It's still unfolding. I've been told there's approximately 1,000 pages of emails. So it's a lot of correspondence to go through. And they've been doing a heroic job Into the Weeds of reading them. So check them out in the description box if you want to see the emails. You want to listen to them, read the emails, and get even a further scoop from them. But I'm just going to go over some highlights. But before we get into the highlights, I need to tell you guys something about Gypsy. I want you to know this is from the GRB Snark page. I love them. Always give them a shout out. Over there, they posted this, that Gypsy is talking about how she has so much support. But what I want to point out, because we're going to get to her video that she put out in a minute, but you see over here in the corner, Gypsy says, in my healing era. Gypsy loves to talk about the era. Like one time she was in her unbothered era. But of course, for Gypsy, that meant she was very bothered, right? Well, right now, just so you guys know, she's in her healing era. Don't know what that means, but yeah. So let's listen to Gypsy. These emails have come out. Some of them are very salacious, and we're going to get to those, okay? I mean, extraordinarily shocking in many ways. Let's go ahead and listen to how Gypsy is reacting. And by the way, Gypsy did what all good narcissists do. She deleted her TikTok, but now she's back once again.
I haven't been on TikTok for a few days. I deleted the TikTok app off my phone for a few days, had to re-download it back to post this message. But the truth is I have a lot of support in the followers that I have. And
if you have a lot of support, you don't need to tell people that. This is just ridiculous. This is Gypsy just gaslighting everybody.
And I just wanted you guys to know that I love you guys, just because I'm taking a little bit of like private time for myself and my family.
I take private time for myself. I don't tell you guys when I do that. I don't need to, make an announcement about when I'm taking private time.
That doesn't mean that I don't care about y'all and care about the support and the love that y'all have given me. And I greatly appreciate it. Because I haven't been on the app for a few days, I'm kind of out of the loop about a lot of the drama that's going on in the...
Right. Gypsy knows exactly what's going on. Okay. Gypsy is never out of the loop of what's being said about her on social media. But you go ahead, girl. You go ahead.
Verse. But what I will say is that whatever drama is going on, I'm not affected by it. So don't worry about me.
I'm so affected by it. I had to make this video to tell you how I'm in my healing era and I don't even know what's going on.
I am doing good, spending time with my family, spending time with Aurora, playing with Aurora, just being a mom. I have so much happiness in my life to be grateful for that I just felt like scrolling was so much of a waste of my time.
I can't.
And I just need to step away from it for a little bit. And I think that social media is fine in moderation, but sometimes you can get sucked in.
What? Gypsy.
And so I did what I felt like I had to do and pull myself out of it. So, with that being said, I'm doing good. I'm fine. I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying my family. I'm just living real life. And that's where my head needs to be at. So, I'm doing what's right for me. And just know that I do.
You guys have screwed up my life so much with these emails now. I have to make this video. Okay? Please stop. I'm in my healing era. I'm trying to be in my healing era. You guys keep bringing out these things that I don't want to discuss. I don't want to talk about. So I'm going to make this video. I'm going to first I'm going to delete my TikTok and pretend like I don't know what's going on. And now I'm coming back because the reports are so salacious that, there's probably a ton of fights behind the scenes.
Still care and love y'all. Thank you so much for all the support that y'all have given me. I have not forgotten about y'all. I just needed to take some time away for myself. I'm not tripping over the emails. I was in my 20s.
Late 20s, early 30s. Let's talk real. All the way up until she gets out. So she's in her 30s, okay? Yes, and a portion of them late 20s, okay? But she's going to pretend like, "You know what? I was just like a teenager. I was like, this come on. You guys did stupid stuff when you were 12 years old too. I just can't believe they're bringing this up."
I mean, how would everybody else feel if their personal diary was released?
This isn't a personal diary, Gypsy. These are prison correspondence that everyone knows when they go to prison are being read and will be up for public consumption at some point. This isn't like someone stole your teenager diary out of your bedroom and is reading it aloud
to the public. Like, I'm sure we've all done embarrassing things that we regret, but like I said, I was in my 20s. I'm not the same like I was back then.
You know what? That was like 50 years ago. Come on, please. I mean, I'm so much more mature now.
I did some stupid stuff. Yes. Do I do stupid stuff now? Yes. But it's all about growth.
She's just so quirky, that Gypsy. She's just always so quirky. She does dumb stuff. Come on, guys. We all do dumb stuff.
It's about learning. It's about maturing. And maturing takes time. And that's what.
Oh my God. Some of this was like 2 years ago. I mean, please.
What I'm doing for myself. I'm growing. And I'm doing what's right for me.
Okay.
So thank you for all of y'all's support.
Okay. Whatever that was. Let's start off with a funny one, okay? And then we're going to get to a serious one. But let's just start off with classic Gypsy. Ready? Here we go.
Know what this all says. Oh God. Okay. Outbound.
This is Into the Weeds. Alora, Amber, and 1980 Millennial reading the emails for us.
Good morning, blank, aka blank, aka Mr. Smitten, aka.
This is a Gypsy email. She's writing this.
Hey, my love. Okay, well, can I at least buy you a coffee the next day? You're gonna need it after the very long night we're gonna have. Heart. As for Larry, okay, you win. No apology. Ha! Mike Pence rode by your work and blank. Obama had visited a Walmart in Springfield, Missouri, and it was the same lane of nothing but black SUVs. My mother and I never even saw her, just the Secret Service guys. Oh, and I'm done with chapter 6, smiley face. I'll call tonight around 8. I have got to tell you what happened at breakfast this morning. Let's just say I'm bad at being bad. It involved 2 bananas. LOL.
Oof.
Love you.
I know. No. Nope. Not going to go there. Okay. Let's get to the biggest bombshell of all. And I want to preface this with a few things before I play this one. It's about Ryan Anderson. Some of you may have already heard about this, but if you haven't, please, this is quite serious. And it's extremely serious. And I just want to preface it by saying this is an allegation, okay? And it has to be treated as an allegation, all right? Because it's coming from Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And we all know Gypsy Rose Blanchard has a history of being untruthful over and over and over again, okay? With that being said, because this has already been reported on, I felt the need to go ahead and report on it also. I also will say that I am in contact with people that know Ryan, and I've reached out to him, and I am waiting for a response. I'm sure he's heard about it, but I also let the people around him that I'm in contact with know. And if I do get a response, I will make sure to let you guys know. But at this point, that was several hours ago, and I have not gotten a response yet. So some of you may need a trigger warning on this. It is very salacious. It involves a very serious matter. And so I just want to preface it with that. And here we go.
This is just from the mouth of Gypsy, and we already know that Gypsy has a lying problem. So that being said, we feel bad, but we also don't feel bad because if this is true, this is disgusting. So here we go. Outbound 12/03/2022. Forgiving bad judgment calls. Last night, Ryan told me of an experience in his past, and I'm having a hard time trying to accept it. I think it slightly made me think less of him, and it led to a disagreement. I told him I need a few days to process it, so I asked to be let off my leash for a few days, took off my wedding ring as if it makes a difference.
Okay, allegedly.
Allegedly. To put it simply, 16 years ago, his ex-girlfriend Jennifer, I should have said that, gave him oral in front of her 5-year-old kid, and he let it happen. So now I think his morals are fucked off because he let her do it. Am I wrong for being very judgmental of him? He always forgives my past, but I'm having a difficult time forgiving his past lapse in judgment calls. I'm trying to do better and put myself in his shoes, but I would have not made the choice to continue with a kid and then it cuts off.
Okay. That is about as serious as it gets. It's allegedly. I'm awaiting his response. This is something that you can't walk back. It's out in the ether now. Okay. And yes, he's a teacher. So he needs to address it. It's very serious. I'm sure he'll consult his attorney possibly. It's yeah, I don't have much more to say about it than that. It's unfortunate. If it's true, it's horrendous. There's no words. And if it's not true, it's horrendous because his entire reputation now is gone unless there's some way he can, it's really unfortunate either way. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on from that. And you guys let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I really, really want to know what you guys think about this. Yeah. Okay, the next clip we have is about Rod. Let's take a listen.
This is inbound from Rod to Gypsy. Hey, Boo, wanted to let you know about something going on. Mom said you broke your tablet, so I'm not sure when you'll get
Is it weird that he calls her Boo? I don't know.
this. A producer from Japan was asking for interviews from you and us similar to HBO in 2020. I told them we were not interested in any more.
I want to set this up of what was going on at this time. This is Rod writing to Gypsy about trying to inform her about some kind of a money deal he's making with some kind of a media outlet in Japan to sell either pictures or video rights or something. Okay, it's again, it's so sick because at this point, I believe Gypsy is upset because I think Ken broke up with her because of all this media coverage, the whole debacle we'll get into it with Christy and Fancy Maselli. And so Yeah, Gypsy kind of like she pulled back. She's like, I don't. This whole thing kind of broke up my relationship. That all of this media attention, and Gypsy was like, I don't, want anything to do with this anymore. And so here's Rod writing to her about some deal he's making, and so if you notice the way he's wording things, it's because this is what's going on.
Publicity or interviews. They asked then if we wouldn't mind sharing some photos and videos. I told them no.
And he's thinking because it's a Japanese company, that's why he's mentioning it's a Japanese, that it wouldn't be anything that would be publicized in America. This was just for a Japanese television. So he thinks, oh, it's okay because, it doesn't matter because it's in Japan.
Then they offered to pay. I thought about it and threw out a number that I didn't think they'd agree to, $10,000. Surprisingly, they agreed to pay that much. So I made sure it wouldn't involve you and only be aired in Japan. So we'll be sending them some pics and video. I really didn't plan on doing it, but honestly, we could really use the money and I hope it wouldn't affect you in any way whatsoever. I will try to put some of the money aside for you when you get out. Let me know if you have any problem with that before we exchange any pictures and stuff. We haven't signed anything legal yet. It has all been verbal. Okay, I love and miss you. Stay healthy, Dad. Now this is outbound from Gypsy, same day. That's fine, Dad. All I would like is for about $800 put on my books as soon as y'all get paid, so I'm good on Canteen for a while. I can budget that to have Canteen for a few months without having Mom to put it on monthly for a while, and whatever else I can absolutely go to whatever needs y'all monetary attention. I was just thinking at least you'd know I was taken care of for some time. Love y'all.
So Gypsy says, okay, that's fine. I just want $800 out of it. Rod scores a 10 grand from this Japanese company. And this is just gross. This is just really gross. Of course, they're all getting paid off of Dee Dee's murder. This is all blood money. And they're all taking, all of them are in on this. And here's the next clip. I'm sure you guys kind of knew that, but it's also to hear it in their own words and how they were, he's just, oh, great, it's a Japanese company and don't worry about it. And I threw out a number, 10 grand, 10,000, and they took it. And yeah. Okay. Here's the next one. It kind of also has to do with this theme.
Or article for them to consult you for permission before they do it.
Me
For
back
her
it
that
up.
if anyone outside of my press team wants to do an interview or article for them to consult you for permission before they do it. I explained that they have a team who will direct me on which media platforms to work with. And between you and I, my other boundary, unknown to blank, is to not just tell her as much personal information anymore.
I think at this point, I'm not sure. I think she's writing to Ken, if not someone else. And she's writing about Christy and Fancy Maselli. And at this point, she's still willing to work with both of them, but Gypsy is willing, but she's pulling back. She's trying to tell Ken, look, I'm not going to get like as personally involved. Ken had a big problem with Fancy. There was a big problem. Ken did not like her, did not like anything about her. And that, of course, affected Gypsy. And Gypsy's like, yeah, Ken's my man. Ken doesn't like her. I don't like her. And there was, other stuff that went on. But that's what this is about right now.
Keep things close to me and blank with our personal and professional lives. I know oftentimes you would keep her updated with news on the progress of our show or promotional opportunities. However, I think it is best to not include blank in these matters. We're on good terms, but again, keeping things close to home with information. I hope your trip is going good. Talk soon. Is that her talking about Fancy?
Yeah, and Christy.
Mm-hmm. So she doesn't want Fancy to be in on the loop.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Oh, the emails revealed too that Christy was saying she wanted to go ahead with Fancy's series because she would be executive producer.
Mm-hmm. She was very clear about wanting to do that.
Well, to anybody who's been taking.
So what they're talking about is at some point, Gypsy writes this letter saying, I don't want, cuts Fancy off. I am done with you. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. But behind the scenes, Christy was still in cahoots with Fancy. And what has come out in these emails, allegedly, is that, Fancy was telling Christy, look, you're going to be executive producer. Basically because Christy wouldn't have that kind of clout or that kind of title on any other project, whether it be with Netflix or Hulu or whatever. But because Fancy was at that point had the life rights to Gypsy's story, she was, saying, hey, Christy, you'll be the executive producer, trying to probably keep Christy kind of on the hook there a little bit. So that's what that email was about. And it's interesting about how the dynamics of Christy and Rod both being so heavily involved in the money-making scheme that became Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Gypsy's case morphed into this huge money-making scheme. Numerous documentaries were made, the Hulu thing, and they were so pissed off about the Hulu show because Hulu wanted nothing to do with Gypsy and the Blanchards. They did that whole project on their own. They did not want their input. They did not get their input. And that is what ultimately pissed Gypsy off so bad, and why she says, oh, I haven't watched it. And that comes out in emails also, not these emails, but emails I've already seen about how Gypsy is just, complaining about, I think it's in her book, actually. It's in her book. Yeah. Gypsy's complaining about how Joey King is now a household name. That was the actor who played her, the actress who played her in the act. And Gypsy's complaining, and here she becomes a household name, and I'm stuck eating this terrible prison food. So Gypsy's got a lot of animosity towards the act, and it's because she had no say in it. Okay, got no money for it. That's why. This is all comes down to money with these people. Believe me, this is all about money with these people. Okay, here's another interesting tidbit. This is Rod on Dee Dee.
Accidentally cut out the date. I think it was 2019 though, but I found this really interesting because Rod's talking about Dee Dee a little bit here. So here, this is Rod inbound to Gypsy. Oh, baby, I don't know how you do it in there for so long. I know it is easy to say, don't think about it and just get through today, one day at a time, but that gets old and it's impossible to not think about how long a year is in confinement. The only good thing is knowing there will be a day when you can walk out of there, breathe your first breath of freedom, letting the sunshine on your face and see where God wants you to truly be. The hopeful anticipation must be blooming deep within you and keeping you sane while you prepare yourself for the rains of life. I know how important it is to stay the course and focus on low goals. Only you know what Gypsy will be when you step out on that freedom bus. Hold to higher hopes and expect to be remarkably conscious of the things everyone else takes for granted. Mom loved you like no other baby. You'll never find anyone else who's loved you more. Why she did those things? I don't know. Maybe she was scared you would love me too, given half a chance. I ran from you guys like a scared little punk bitch, and she couldn't run from the responsibility like I did. That's why I always respected her and did the best I could financially to help. She started something long ago and never could get out of the crazy hole that she dug.
There he's referring to the scam and the grift. She dug a hole she couldn't get out of.
In the name of love for you, to protect you. I wish she would have just...
And he actually, said, because she loved you, to protect you.
Let you grow up and date blank. Maybe you and I would have...
This is the part here. I got to back it up a little bit because this is quite telling.
Protect you. I wish she would have just let you grow up and date blank. Maybe you and I would have never been close, but you would have had some freedom. It's sad, but I'm glad you and I could talk about it and have a real relationship now.
He points out, I wish she would have just let you date blank. Ron has said in other places also, in his mind, I don't know if these are slips, of what he says, but that Gypsy did what Gypsy did to Dee Dee because Dee Dee wasn't allowing her to run around and date all these men. Basically, Gypsy did what she did because Dee Dee was too controlling over her love life. That Rod recognized that's why Gypsy resorted to do what she did. But this had nothing to do with the so-called abuse that came out later, right? Allegedly came out later and became the reason during, after she gets arrested and her attorney and the Blanchards come up with that story. But here, Rod, a person who really did know Dee Dee, it did know the situation, is saying this. And there's another place where he says this in an interview that I recall. So Rod knows. Rod knows exactly why it went down.
I'm so happy that you are in my thoughts every single day. And when I think about the future, you're always a part of it. I'm ready for you to come home and give mom some company, because when I call, she don't answer. I will call you and give you all projects to do around the house and watch y'all on my high-tech cameras. We're going to have so many good times just hanging out, cooking, playing music, and Pedro. I can't wait. I will be home June 4th, July 16th. I hope they'll allow a visit. Gotta go. Love you.
Yeah. So that's quite telling. Had some good things to say about Dee Dee, you know, and then let that kind of slip about Gypsy. Of course, I think sometimes when people are writing these prison correspondence, they probably never thought this would become public, like he didn't think this would someday become public, even though you kind of know these are, being read and being seen, but to be public in this way. And so he's just writing his real feelings there. He's just saying, you know what, if she would have let you date, maybe this would never have happened, kind of thing. And there's the truth. Okay. Now we're going to turn our attention to Gypsy and Ken. And this, I don't know how to preface this. Let me just play it.
Women tell me how much more handsome you. So this is 11/12/2020. I am so pleased that you are all man. It is no surprise to me that I have.
This is Gypsy writing to someone I can't remember. She had several paramours while she was in prison. One named Brian, I think one named Josh, one named Robert, as far as I can tell. Not sure who she's writing to here, but she's not writing to Ken, but something's going to be said about Ken in this email.
Upgraded my love life, but it's nice to hear other random women tell me how much more handsome you are compared to Blank, and in addition,
compared to Ken,
and telling me how they thought Blank was actually gay. I get that a lot.
Ken was actually gay.
I feel like most everyone had a thought of him being secretly gay. I feel like when you and I are sitting together having a visit, a lot of women kind of stare and whisper, "Is that Gypsy with a real man?" LOL.
Oh,
That's
my goodness.
horrible.
Yeah, that may be why Gypsy's in her healing era right now, at home with Ken. Here's another one. That is gonna have to be causing some turmoil over in Metairie or wherever they live in Louisiana. I can't imagine that Ken is going to be happy about that correspondence that Gypsy had with some man and saying that all the women, Gypsy alleging all the women in the prison were like, oh, this guy's so much more manly. We thought that other guy, was he gay? He's gay, right? And so that's what Gypsy's relating to this other paramour she's writing to. Again, you write things in prison, might come out later. And this is another one of those that people are pointing to as very problematic for Gypsy. All right. We got one more here. This is Gypsy talking about some sexy pics that she was trying to send to this guy. She was trying to get Christy to send these sexy photos to another one of her paramours.
I probably actually.
The fifth. I think it's 3 down. It's gray.
Thank you. Okay. Good morning, Mr. No, that's good morning, Mr. Smitten.
On 424, there's not 3 down. It's
here it is. My bad.
okay.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Handsome. Well, lucky for you, I'm free tonight and Saturday as well. Smiley face. Good. I'm glad she got some pics together for you. Too bad.
She's talking about Christy she's instructed Christy to get some pictures together to send this person.
I don't think I could convince her to send a certain kind of pic of me to you. My case file has more than a few. I probably actually could convince her in time, but why spoil the surprise of that night? All I can say is I think you'll be more than satisfied with my curves. Moi, I love you. XOX. I'm going to make a cup of coffee.
That
So there she is saying that in her case file, and we know what these pictures are, right? Her with the knife, her dressed up as Candy, her dressed, and there's probably others we haven't seen that, she's proud of. She's proud of those pictures, those personas. There's those personas she invented that ultimately led to her manipulating her co-defendant, Nick Godejohn, to murder her mother. And it doesn't bother her to think about those pictures. You would think those pictures would be the last thing she wants to see ever again. That it would remind her of that traumatic event of what she did. It would make her feel guilty. Nope, not just Gypsy Rose Blanchard. That's perfectly fine. She loves those pictures. She has no problem thinking about those pictures and even sharing those pictures with other men. Really quite telling about who she is. I wanted to point out something. We had a live the other night where we welcomed Lori, the dream expert, and she was a great guest. Really loved her. We're going to have her back. And we were talking about how Gypsy's a narcissist, allegedly, in our humble opinions. And I wanted to point out that even though someone is a narcissist or could have narcissistic personality disorder, that doesn't mean that they can't also be diagnosed as a psychopath. Psychopath and sociopath are two different terms, defining two different things. They're not really the real term is antisocial personality disorder. And from that comes, the psychopath, the sociopath, but you can have both. You can be a narcissist and also have, be a psychopath. So a psychopath is someone that usually kills. That's why Lori said, I see her more as a psychopath. And I agreed. Yeah. We can't diagnose Gypsy. It's just in our humble opinions. But I just wanted to point that out because I think it's interesting here when you bring up something like these pictures and stuff like that. Okay. There was just a few other things that came out, and part of that was her prison record of her indiscretions or her issues that she had while she was in prison, things she got in trouble for. Most of it's pretty boring. All of it has to do, almost all of it, the stuff that she did has to do with some kind of sexual stuff. So either sexually inappropriate letters, they called Cosmopolitan magazine sexually inappropriate. So that's why I'm like, no. But there was other things, definitely. These two I circled here, the sexually explicit drawing, and then a really other weird thing, bare-chested child card. What was that? We have no idea, but a card like a greeting card or what? What is that? What is that? Another one, there was like a sex toy she got caught with. Just a lot of and then of course a lot of sexually inappropriate letters that she was sending out, that she got caught writing. So yeah, she was a busy bee when she was locked up in prison. Had numerous paramours, doing a lot of correspondence with a lot of different men. This is interesting. This is from the actual emails that Into the Weeds we're reading. And this is from Gypsy to Ken. And this is when they're breaking up, I believe. And this is Ken writing, I thought you loved me for who I am today. and who I'll be tomorrow. And after our conversation, I feel like I'll never be anything more than my past to you. Oh no, this is Gypsy. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Made a mistake. Gypsy writing to him. She says, then you're scammer, and she puts it in quotes. So obviously he's called her scammer. Your scammer of a girlfriend has done what she can do to make things right. If it wasn't made evident by that comment, I am not pleased with you and the way you handled me tonight. You blamed everything on me and then called me a scammer, even though I didn't ask for anything, a liar, because I wanted to have the shit taken seriously. I mean, what the fuck? You are upset. Well, so am I. But you didn't have to take out your frustration on me like it was my sole idea. So that's interesting that he would call her a scammer, right? You know, I think ultimately, I don't know ultimately why those two are together. This tells me that Ken might have an inkling, a little inkling of who she is. He doesn't think it's serious. I think he doesn't think, he just sees Gypsy as this little 4'11" woman who has this very girl-like voice. And yeah, I don't think he understands. But calling her a scammer, well, he might have been onto something there. More than that, though, she's a murderer. She's a murderer. And yeah, that's something you don't live down. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. This was just a short video to go over some of those highlights. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm working on some other things that I think you guys will like. I'll be going live in the next couple of days and have something special for that live also. So until then, I love you and thank you so much for watching. Have a good night, evening, or morning, whatever it is. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.